In this video, we'll review the Estimate Analysis Report category in Service CEO. We start on the Reports tab, and we'll click into the Estimate Analysis category. As with all categories, you can see previously built and saved reports. You can run them, edit them, view the settings, see the description, see who created it and when, as well as when the report was last edited and by whom. Note that things like this and the actual formatting of building reports themselves are covered in more depth in the How to Build Your Own Reports training video. Here we've clicked Build New Report. First, let's overview the different filter criteria options here on the left, and then we'll look at our layout options. Going down the criteria top to bottom, here are your options. The first is creation date. These are dates for when the estimates were physically created in Service CEO, which is very different from the issue date, which is the date that is populated on the estimate when the estimate itself is issued and presented to the customer. So the creation date is when you first enter the sales opportunity in the system. The issue date is the day you actually present the customer with the estimate itself. The expiration date is the day that the estimate expires. You set your default estimate days before expiration on the Company Information tab. That's added to the issue date to come up with the expiration date. So if the issue date is April 1st and you have a 30-day window, the expiration date would be May 1st. The won and lost date allows you to set up filters on the date that a decision was made, go or no go. Business units, if you're using business units, allows you to only see estimates in a particular business unit or to see them all. Estimate status lets you filter to only show, for example, only show your open estimates. If I want to do that, I would leave all of my open sub-statuses alone, and I'll unselect all of my won and job canceled, and my lost sub-statuses. If, for example, I wanted a report of all of the estimates and sales opportunities we've lost, we would select everything on lost and keep the won and the open estimates unchecked. We'll get them all checked again here. The value allows you to filter. For example, if I only want to see estimates over $1,500, I can set it like that. If you only wanted to see estimates between a particular dollar amount, you could set it up like this. Or if you wanted to see estimates under a particular amount, you could set up a filter like this. Probability is the same concept. The probability is a field that's on the Opportunity Information tab. You can start and say, only show me estimates with a probability greater than 50%. Or if you want to see everything between, say, 25 and 50, you could do so here. You can, of course, filter by the customer type or by the service location. Again, city, state, or zip code, or any zones if you're using the zone functionality. You can filter by the products or services. If you only wanted to see, for example, estimates with cleaning services, products and services on there, you could do so here. You can filter by the sales reps on here. For example, I could say I only want to see estimates that James is the sales rep on. It would be set up like this, where James is the only box checked. To include all, we'll keep everything set as select all. You can filter by the marketing source that the customer heard about you from. And you can also segment by the competitor. So if, for example, you wanted a list of all of your estimates where you're up against Service Inc., we would do so like this. Finally, if you have custom fields on any of the pages you see here on the left, you can set up filter criteria based on custom fields on these pages. Let's go to the layout and look at some of the more advanced options in this category. Again, you can click the Info button to see the information to describe the difference between a summary and detailed view. Detailed view is generally the more commonly used view in the estimate analysis report because it gives you a lot of information. There are two types of analytics that Service CEO provides in this report category. The first is advanced analytics. This gives you statistics to compare the performance between different sales reps. This will give you a total weighted value, which is the dollar amount of the estimate multiplied by the probability of winning that deal, and average estimate value, which is the total estimate dollar amount divided by the number of estimates, the days from creation date to close date, and the days from the issue date to close date. Keep in mind the difference from these two, as discussed earlier on the criteria tab. And it will also give you a percentage of report total. This essentially means if my 3 sales guys did $10,000 in estimates last week, who contributed what percentage of that $10,000? Analytics are a great way to get statistics in comparing the performance of your sales folks. The estimated to actual analytics allow you to track upsells and differences between what you quoted a job at and actually billed the job at. You can see here, this will compare the charges on the estimate to the charges on the actual invoice when you complete the job. This can be used to track upsells and to track any examples where a project may take longer than it was quoted at. Helps you improve your estimating process, and again also track your upsells. In your grouping options here, you can group by the business unit, the expiration date of a contract, which is actually a custom field. You can group by creation dates in a daily, weekly, or monthly view. The referral source, your customer type. Lots of custom fields on here, such as emergency, contact, and equipment. We can group by the expiration date of the estimates themselves, the dates the estimates were issued, marketing campaign, again, probability, sales rep, your service locations, status, sub-status, or the dates that the estimates were actually won or lost. Finally, you can include optional columns from the different pages that you see here. Now let's build a report to show all open estimates that have expired. First, we'll give it a name, and this is very important. The first criteria is going to be off of the expiration date. I'm going to use my smart rolling date filter before today so that I don't have to update this report. I can come back in a week and look at the exact same report, and the today's date will have updated based on the calendar date. Now I only want to see open substatuses, so I'm going to remove my one substatus, my one job canceled substatuses, and my lost substatuses. That's it for the filter criteria. I've simply said estimates that expired before today that are currently open. Now let's go to the layout. I want to include the detailed information. I don't need any analytics because this report is simply to give me visibility into my expired estimates. So I'm going to come to grouping. However, I do want to group this by the sales rep so I can see who the sales rep was on each of these opportunities. We'll go ahead and save this report as is, and then run it. And let's see some information on our expired estimates grouped by the sales rep. You can see here there are 3 estimates that have currently expired that are open in the system. You can see the creation date and issue date on here. You can also see the sales rep here, which we've grouped by. This concludes the training video on the estimate analysis report category. Please contact us directly with questions or for help.